Now, today marks 1 year since the Wall Street Journal reporter, journalist Evan Gershkovich, was detained by Russia while on assignment. Now, he's been accused of being a spy. The 32-year-old reporter has never been formally charged or had a trial. Yet on Tuesday, just Tuesday this week, he was ordered to remain in prison for another 3 months at the request of Russia's security service. Now, this case reminds us all, I think, of the jailing of Australian journalists like Peter Grester and Cheng Lei, our Sky colleague, both jailed under bogus charges over the last decade. Now, for more, I'm joined by Professor Greg Barton from the Deakin Institute for Globalisation and Citizenship. Great to catch up with you again, Greg. Evan is reportedly holding up pretty well, given the circumstances. Apparently, the US ambassador in Moscow visits him every few weeks. But it can't be easy when you get no trial, you've not been charged with anything, and you're just locked up.
That's right, Steve. It's a dreadful situation. Evan is 32 years old, so he's young and fit and appears to still be in good health. The fact that his case is such high profile, he's the first journalist, American journalist, to be arrested in Russia since the end of the Cold War. So it was, quite a bolt out of the blue. That high-profile case means that perhaps he's a little bit safer, but given the way Vladimir Putin's Russia is today, given the terrible disinformation and claims that are being made in the context of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, these allegations that Evan Gershkovich is engaged in espionage, the American government at the highest level is completely refuted. He's never been in a government office. He's always been a journalist. So it's just a dreadful situation.
So, Greg, in the case of Cheng Lei, I mean, the Australian government, they always said, just keep the temperature down. We're working in the background here to get her release. And we're very lucky to have her working here with us at Sky. But this bloke's an American. So, and he works for a high-profile newspaper, one of the most respected papers in the world, the Wall Street Journal, owned by News Corp. He's got a lot of heavy hitters behind him wanting him to be released. Why are the Russians being so stubborn with Evan?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Steve. Clearly, they're looking to use him as leverage at some point. They will, when he's eventually released, perhaps we'll understand the story better. It's nothing to do with him personally, as far as we know. Yes, his parents were emigres from the Soviet Union, Jewish Russian family. He grew up speaking Russian at home, and his fluency in Russian meant that his reporting on everyday life in Russia was very compelling. But none of that makes him a target. In the case of Cheng Lei, and that was another terrible case, but we do know in the case of China that if you're considered to be a dual national, if you're born in China, as far as the government's concerned, you're always a dual national, no matter what other citizenship you may claim. That makes you very vulnerable. We haven't seen that pattern with Russia in the same way. This is a little bit more like people being taken political hostage in Iran, where we've seen a strong pattern of people being held until some sort of trade can be done. That seems to be what's going on here.